Hi everyone, this is Billy. After publishing the stackable bucket version of my passive vertical hydroponics tower, I find that the cost of getting the standpipe and drilling multiple holes is quite inconvenient and expensive. So I find another way you can still create this vertical growth tower without a standpipe. We just utilize the holes at the side of the bucket to pass the central pipe from the top to the bottom. Although it looks a little bit ugly, we cannot hide those wires, it's exposed outside, but it's a very effective way and cheaper way to do all this. You can also easily maintain the pipes on the outside, so it's cheaper and easier to maintain. If it's the first time you come across this vertical bucket version of hydroponics tower, continue watching and I'll show you the full step. But if it's the second time you already saw the other bucket version video, then just drag to the last part of the video where you'll find the different steps for making this without the standpipe. Thank you. So one of the material you need to use is this 32 millimeter 45-degree joint. So we'll use it as the plant insert pipe, but this part is a bit too wide, too long, so if we just plug it in like that, the root will be bending. So what we need to do is cut it in half and get rid of this excess part. So the root, when the root is inserted, you can insert right into the tank. If you don't cut it, the root will be horizontal. Okay, so do the cutting will be better. The other way is to drill 4 25 millimeter holes. So you can put in this 25 millimeter PVC pipe, then insert another 20 millimeter PVC pipe inside, so you can slide them in and out and adjust the distance between the grow light and your plants. First, we need to mark where we want to drill holes for the plant insert pipes. Depending on how big the roots of your plant is going to be, you can take a measurement of around 140 millimeter above the bottom of the tank and mark that to drill the holes. To help us mark it evenly, we can use a tape measure. Just tape the tape measure around the peripherance of the bucket or at around the same height. I'm using 140 millimeter. Then you need to decide how many holes you want around the bucket. In this example, I drew 9 holes, but I think you may want to start with 6 or even 4 holes depending on how big your plants will be. Then you can divide the perimeter by the number of holes. For example, I have 810 millimeter perimeter. So dividing that by 9 holes will get me around 90 millimeter per hole. So I'll just go to the tape measure at that point, starting with 90 and then 180 and so on, to punch in the marker for my holes. Then you need to find a drill pitch the same size as the outer diameter of your plant insert pipe. Mine is 38 millimeter. One of the tips in drilling this type of soft rubber bucket is to drill in the anti-clockwise, that means the reverse direction. It will give you a smoother cut. Then you can put the 32 mm plant insert pipe inside and see if it's tight. If it's tight enough, you won't even need a glue. So that's how it looks when you finish drilling and inserting the 32 millimeter pipe. And this pipe is enough to put in this 32mm plant insert pipe. Or if you don't want to use this, you can use the cotton directly. Just put in the cotton directly. Okay, so the inside like this, the roots will come out from here. So if you got this, it will be like that. The wood will come out from there. And we don't need to use glue or anything because it's very tough, very hard to remove. So you just push it in. The rubber from the bucket will secure this in place. It's very tough. You don't need to have glues. So it's very easy to fix this one. No glues required. All push in, very easy. Okay, just make sure you adjust the angle so this is pointing straight up. Okay. Next, we'll need to find a place to drill the maintenance door. We need 2 maintenance doors because we have 2 hands. Some operation need 2 hands to insert into the tank. So we find a space where we've got a little bit more space. So maybe here and here, here and here. So we can drill this and keep this door and then put it back in. And let's make a hole here and mark it here. Okay, so this is the first hole, and then second one. I think first one. Let's drill the first hole first. Let's see how big it is before we drill the other one. So we completed the drilling. Make sure you keep this small piece because we'll be making a door later on using this to cover this hole, because otherwise the algae will be populating inside when light gets in. So we need to make sure we seal it with this lid or some cloths. If you have some black cloths, you can put in the black cloths so you can push the hand in like that. So now we have 2 doors and 2 holes. Okay, so when we work on this, we can get both our hands in to work on this. It's like some of the biochemical labs. Put your hand in and do something. So we are going to use this cable tie to build a hinge for the maintenance door. So first we need to drill some holes. 2 here, 2 here, and then 1 here. Let's drill the 2 holes here first. Okay. 1. And then we can mark in roughly the same location. We drill another 2 holes. So roughly here, let's mark it here, 1 hole, and then here, 2nd hole. Right. Let's drill it here. First hole, 2nd hole. Okay, and then for us to pull it, we need to have another hole here too. Here. Okay. So we can put this in like this. We'll make a handle. Okay, so it will be a good handle. Small enough. Okay, and then we can chop off the other end. Like that. Then we can tie this into the bucket. So I think better this way. Okay. Then one more. So that's it. That's the maintenance door. And we can chop this off afterwards. The last step is to drill a hole in the middle of the tank to put this standpipe in. Standpipe is used to pass the electricity cable down to the bottom tank for the glow lights, and also to pass the central duct that feeds from the top tank, which is the nutrient reservoir. So, but it is optional. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to drill a hole inside, you can just pass the duct outside from here. You can insert the duct here, but it's a bit ugly because it will be all hanging from the outside. So you can just buy this stuff. You twist it open. It's in two pieces. One piece is so one piece is like this, the other piece is like this. You have two fillets, and just put one outside at the bottom of the tank, one at the bottom of the tank like this, and this other one in the inside. Then it will apply the pressure through the screws to make sure there's no water leak. When the plant is at its infancy, you may want to insert another pipe to the standpipe like this one, so that you can put in more nutrient at the level that is touching the roots. As the plant grows bigger, the roots go longer, you can remove this central pipe and then put in the flow valve. The flow valve will ensure the water level is kept at 1 inch and is fed from the central nutrient tank at the top of the hose deck. Okay, so this is done. And we put in one more cable tie to block the door from getting inside. So now we can do the maintenance and then shut down this maintenance door. Right. So we use this type of cable tie to tie the cover, and this is a hatch for the door. So we have two, one here, one here. After we turn around, we cut it, and then we can now just squeeze in this 32 mm hole. This is actually not a 32 mm hole. Let me measure it. Okay, so this is diameter is actually 38.4, and then this hole is around 37, so it's a bit smaller. That's fine. We just squeeze it in, so we don't need to use screw. Oh, okay. And when you finish screwing in, just push at the bottom a bit, so the angle of this will be 45 degrees. Push it hard a bit. Okay, so this is very firm, no need to apply glue. So it's very easy to make. And then for the door, I find a better way to mount the door. So I basically have this type of cable tie. And then I drill 4 holes, 2 in the door, 2 in the bucket, and then put a wire in like that. Go through here, come out from here, go in again and come out again. I find this way the door will have a force to push in, so it won't hurt the plant. If we turn it outside, then it will hurt the plants. So we can push it in, put our hand in to do maintenance. There are 2 doors, another one the same way, so we can put our hand in to do the maintenance. When we finish, we can return the door to the original shape, and there's a latch here. We just secure it in place. The important thing is for the door to block the light, so there will not be algae growing inside your tank, because it will be full of nutrients. When your nutrient hit the sunlight, the algae will start growing. Okay, so that's why we use a black bucket to avoid the sunlight. So there is a total of 9 plant insert pipe that you can insert. You can insert a 32 millimeter net cup like that, or you can simply use a cotton. The first thing you need to do is find a drill bit that is similar size as the rubber dot, but a little bit smaller, maybe half a millimeter smaller. So when you drill through it, the duct can be safely squeezed into the bucket, and you won't have leakage. So let's try this first. Let's drill through this. Okay, that's done. So this is the hole. Let's try to squeeze the pipe in. Okay, squeeze it in already. Then next you need to check inside. You may need to apply some silicone inside. Make sure there's no leakage. Okay, but This is number 1. So let me test whether there's any leakage. You can see that without applying any glues inside or outside, there's no leakage. If you let this down, water will start flowing. You put back in, there's no leakage. So this is nice. The other thing we need to do is to seal the other end of this rubber duct. So how to seal it? We can have this type of nozzles. Just use the hot glue gun to seal the one end, and then just push it in, and then it will be sealed. The next step is to put in this flow valve. You can check my links in the YouTube to see where you can download the 3D print file for this flow valve, or you can make it out of drinking bottle, plastic drinking bottle. Just check the other links on my YouTube to make it. There are also similar products sold commercially, but many of those are a little bit too big, and the level of control is too deep. It's too big for our 1-inch water level requirements. The only matching product that is that can fulfill this is the Autoport Echo Valve. So you can go to Autoport and buy that. I've put a link in Amazon and eBay for that, so you can go there to take a look. So once whatever flow valve you have purchased, you need to install it in your growth tank. Right. It's better to secure it to the base of the growth tank using some heavy objects or even some screws without breaking the bottom. However, if you can tie it well, it won't move, that should be fine. So just put one in close to the maintenance window here, and let it come out from one of the plant insert pipe. And then I did the same for the second one. So then you can close the bucket, stack them up. You can stack as many as 5 of these before you have the water tank. So let me assume the water tank is now installed. So this is the water tank at the top, I mean the nutrient reservoir at the top, and then the 2 growth tank. You can stack up as many as you like. Stack up a total of 4 growth tank, 1 water tank, and then this is the central rubber duct that we have sealed at one end. So now we need to install the connection between the flow valve inside. Let me show you the flow valve inside. This is the flow valve inside. Need to make the connection between this duct and the central duct, and it's better to use a hose. We have some of these mini hose, so something smaller than that. So we have the rubber duct coming out from the top tank, and then next we need to connect it to the flow valve inside the tank. I'll show you that is the flow valve. Flow valve inside the tank. And then let me show you how I did the last one. Okay, so this is the flow valve. Okay, the flow valve connected to the pipe. So let's pinch a hole here. Don't pinch through the other side, just pin half, and then go up. Make the hole bigger, and then come back.
Don't go down again. Don't pinch the other side. Okay, once you're done, use this rubber plastic stick to make the hole a bit bigger, but don't damage the material. Okay, just let the rubber stay firm for a while and then push this in quickly. Okay, that's it. Now you see it's quite tight, we can't pull it out, and then you can hook up with the flow valve like that. So we can complete all the flow valve at each tank like this, and then when we start testing, we will open the hose, and then we'll do a leakage test, whether there's leakage from this hose here. We start the test, and now piling some water to the nutrient tank. Here's some water, and let's peek inside. Okay, the flow valve is now letting the water to come through. So this one as well, water is coming through to the second tank through the flow valve, and let's check whether there's any leakage. There's no leakage, that's nice. What about this one? Again, no leakage. What about the top tank? Here. Again, no leakage, no water drops. So let's observe flow valve whether it's in operation. And after a while, it should stop the water at exactly around one inch. And what about this one? Water is still filling up. So the water, or when we're really using it, the nutrient will be fed independently to individual bucket, and the nutrient within the bucket is around 1 inch deep. It will be absorbed by the plant, and when the plant absorbs the water, the nutrient, the flow valve will drop, and then water will come in again. The nutrient will be replenished, so there's no recycling, no circulation, no waste. The only waste is the evaporation through the air, and it's actually quite good. If you have evaporated nutrient, that means there is some moisture around here. It's good for the roots. Okay, let's see. The water level has stopped for this one. And what about here? Okay, seems to be running out of water. Let me fill this up again. Okay, I filled up the tank again. Let's see. Flow valve in operation. Okay. Flow valve seems to be working. There's no more water flow. This one too. After testing that there's no leakage and the flow valve is in good operation, you can replace the water with nutrient solutions and then start putting plants into the plant insert pipe. The only condition is your plant must be growing in a nursery to a stage that the roots are long enough to touch the bottom of the tank. This bucket version has more space and allows you to grow fruits such as tomato and other type of fruits. If you are putting it indoor, you can hang grow lights, which are LED tubes, from the top tank using some PVC pipes. I've shown that in my other videos, so you can set one up. You only need 4 LED grow lights hanging from the top, like 4 feet long LED lights. I suggest you use the full spectrum white LED grow lights that will cover the needs of both plants, which are vegetable or fruits. So I hope you like my video and my little invention to put the cracky passive hydroponic systems on a vertical tower. Thanks a lot for watching. Go to my blog. There's a link in the YouTube description to get more information. Bye now.